Hello, welcome to the Sunday, August 16th online meeting of the Natural Rights Sangha. It's interesting doing these things online with no people here because of the virus and also because of the reality of the situation. Some of our members are in Japan or Japanese, some are German. Some of the Germans and Japanese are in India right now and cannot leave because of travel restrictions, but they're happy where they're at, thankfully. Ralph is in Maine, and he is happy now to have a business visa to overseas, and he'll be able to travel again this fall, which he dearly loves. California, Dave is happy at his homestead up in the forest. Maria's in Spain, and so on and so on. To meet in person each week wouldn't happen anyway, much as it would be nice. I've often thought about Star Trek technology being a good thing. Maybe Susan is tuning in from Colorado too, but we'll see. I'll hear from her if she does. But as usual, we start with meditation. Before that, I'm going to mention, I just came in from a walk. And by Pacific Northwest standards, it's hot today. So I had to towel myself off and get a drink of iced tea. And I said, it's time to do the meeting before anything else. So here I am. But as usual, let's start with the meditation. And when we start, just please turn this off. After having set a timer, you can meditate for 10, 12, 15, however many minutes you wish. We normally do meditations that just focus on the breathing and let thoughts go. It's just a relaxation meditation, so to speak, but there's more to it than that. It's more subtle than that. But if you are excited or hyper about something before it starts, by the end, you should be more mellow and calm. And so please sit up straight, relaxed, but with good posture, fingers together however you like. And we'll just inhale and exhale through the nose and just focusing on the inhaling and the exhaling. And if thoughts come, just let them go. Just say, thinking, thoughts leave, thoughts leaving. Inhale, exhale. In some temples, they teach you to do nothing but watch your breath and count it. And then the master will come up and say, how many breaths did you go without another thought intruding? And the young student says, 3, sir. He goes, 3 is not bad. It'll get better. But it's not a contest. Okay, so let's shut our eyes and inhale. Exhale. Okay, go ahead and turn this off when you're ready to, and turn it back on when your meditation buzzer rings. Okay, well, I hope your meditation was peaceful and nice. After last week's meeting, our Spanish friend Maria put a question up to be looked at, and it talked about the precepts, and it talked about the precepts related to Dharma, and to cosmic and natural law and asks whether the precepts were the equivalent of these or whether they were included in them. Good questions. Now, of course, what is Dharma? What is cosmic law? What is natural law? And what are these natural and cosmic laws? Are subjects that whole books have been written on, let alone the Dharma. You know, the Dharma is part of Tao, it's part of Buddhism, it's part of. And Dharma can be translated as the way. Okay, so what is the way? Again, whole books have been written on these topics. Chon Buddhism in China, which is called Song Buddhism in Korea, and Zen in Japan. It seems like they're a whole practice, however it is, be it like some of the Japanese who do koans, like what is the sound of one hand clapping, or does a tree that falls in a forest that no one hears or knows about produce any sound, et cetera, et cetera. It seems like the ideal Zen person is totally in tune with the Dharma at all times and has left the need for cognitive discussion behind. They're in tune with the moment and just do what is, quote, natural in the moment. Now, that could be said about any truly enlightened person from any tradition. Ramana Maharshi never did anything which was not right and natural in the moment. And the Buddha, it seems, was in such a place that often the Buddha would just sit and consider and then respond if he felt it was appropriate, realizing that in a lot of situations, not doing a whole lot was the appropriate response. Ramana Maharshi would be in total agreement with this. Natural law. Jesus said to love one another, to treat each other as you wish they would treat you. The Jewish book, holy books have the same things written, so do the Muslim, so do the Hindu. The Buddhists, of course, do also, with their huge emphasis on compassion. And so what does this all have to do with natural law and Dharma and cosmic law? To me, it's very hard to put those into words because words are inherently dualistic and can inherently be interpreted in different ways, and God knows, translated into different languages in different ways. Those come from in here. And I can guarantee you that cosmic law, natural law, the Dharma, will never encourage things which in the world would be considered grievous. Rape, murder, etc. Someone following natural cosmic law of the Dharma would never do these things. And similarly, no one living by our precepts would either. So are our precepts in accordance with natural law and the Dharma and cosmic law? Well, all I can say is those of us who put them onto the website and made them part of the Natural Rights Sangha did our darn best to make sure they were. Okay, we sure wouldn't want anything on there which is against those things. And if anyone out there has any idea that anything in our precepts runs afoul of the Dharma or in some way goes against natural or cosmic law, please inform us immediately. That would be a discussion worth having. That would be a wonderful one, actually. And if you were to show us that was the case, believe me, things would be changed quickly. So, Maria, thank you for that. Now, the second thing we wanted to do today was one member sent a question in, asked a question, saying some of your concepts are not all that familiar to me. Maybe they should be, but they're not. So could you please talk more about what non-duality is and what it means? Okay, well, again, books have been written about this too. And the New Agers try to encompass it by saying all is one and we are all one and everything like that. And there is an element of truth to what they say. Absolutely. The deeper ramifications of this understanding run so deep that, again, you've had spiritual discussions by some of the all-time greats about these that go for hours and hours and hours and hours. So for me to put it in a couple minutes is a challenge. Ramana Maharshi, Shankara, that's Adi Shankaracharya. When in doubt, go back to them. It does seem like, yes, we are in these bodies. It seems this way. It seems like I've got this, I have this body, and I have this mind, and God help us. And that's how it is. I am here, and she's over there, and he's over there, and you're out there. Except they use the comparison I made before. In non-duality, this is all ephemeral. One great man I know, a certain Swami, said, it's not really an illusion, it's a delusion that we're all separate. So imagine that in truth, everything is the movie screen. And the illusion, the temporary part, the part that's not really real because it's so temporary. Anything subject to time and space, basically, is temporary. So think of that one. Only if you're not subject to time or space are you, by some definitions, quote, real. But the key thing about non-duality is that I believe every master came to it. I believe Jesus was a non-dualist, but he's been mistranslated and translated and interpreted and misinterpreted so many times in so many languages that it's harder to find what he really meant. Although Robert Wolfe made a good attempt in his book about Jesus regarding the Gospel of Thomas. So Robert Wolfe, Wolfe, look up Gospel of Thomas and Robert Wolfe. He made a very good attempt at showing the non-dual aspects of Jesus. When you come to the understanding that everything is not two, there is no second, in fact, then even Nisargadatta, who was known for his temper at times, would say that once you get there, you really can't be long-term angry at anybody anymore because they're you. Much as I don't like some things about politics nowadays, on one level, I know that they're not sinning, so to speak. We can commit crimes in the world, and we often do. But there are no true crimes regarding all that is. And this is a hard concept, and it's misused. It's misused because people who truly get this inherently become peaceful, natural, unattached people regarding fame, wealth, power, money, sex, all these things. They lose interest in them because they're looking at this whole kaleidoscope of all that is, and they see suffering, which is unnecessary. And when they can, many will quietly offer hints at how you can change your perspective regarding things and maybe lessen this suffering to some extent. Because if we're attached to the world, everything eventually is dissatisfactory because everything changes. There's the old joke, I probably said it before, about how when people get married, the man wants the woman never to change because she's really nice the way she is. Ooh, baby, yeah. And the woman already has her projects in mind for how the man will be after a few years. Now, there is truth to this, but the fact is, the man will be disappointed because she will change. And the woman in that situation will be disappointed because either he won't change much or he'll change in a way she didn't want him to. Just to be an observer, to be in the world but not of it, and to look at everything as that doing what that does. Without judgment, without going, oh, or aha, or whatever. That's not to say you can't have fun and laugh at something, or you can't enjoy a good meal and say, hey, that was really a good dessert, or whatever. My old teacher, Ramesh, used to say, hey, I enjoy a good glass of a nice drink once in a while, and if he got one that wasn't such a good one, might pour it out in a plant, and everybody laughed. But without attachment to it, just acknowledging that the world has stuff. And right now, this apparent mind-body organism is part of that stuff. And someday it won't be. And that's okay too. Because the real essence of you will not go anywhere. Like Ramana Maharshi said when he was asked about dying, he said, the real me is not going anywhere. Now, people have taken that to mean that Ramana inhabits the mountain still, and they come there to commune with Ramana. Well, in a way, that's true, but that's not probably exactly what he meant. But still, there's truth to it. So it's not a bad idea to go to Tiruvannamalai if you want to. A lot worse places to be, that's for sure. If it weren't for Ramana, it'd just be a dusty hill and no one would go there. But, well, a few Hindu pilgrims would. But, well, hey, thank you for your questions. And again, you can put them on the bottom of the comments here. Please sign up as a member if you like this and you would like to get more of them. We plan on them coming out every Sunday. And if I miss a week, I'm sorry. If something bad happened, if I ever miss, it shouldn't happen. And I'll get one up as soon as I can if something were to happen like that. So, and email me at mark@naturalrightsangha.org. And I want to mention that right behind me out this window, a couple days ago, there was a deer, a mom, a doe, just 7 feet from where I'm sitting right now, chomping on the grass. And behind her, about 30 feet away, her 2 little fawns were sitting there in the grass. Their little ears were twitching, and they were great. I like the fact that the deer can come so close to where I live and feel safe, and they are, and it's a nice thing. Nature is one of our precepts, and never let it be far from you. Okay, well, let's finish now with the 4 agreements. I said the 4 agreements again. Okay, I mean the 4 immeasurables. I keep saying 4 agreements because I love Don Miguel Ruiz's book so much, and how it teaches always to tell the truth, not to lie and slander and gossip, which is one of our precepts and was one of the Buddhist precepts, and not to endeavor not to have assumptions or expectations. Those are so huge. So sorry I say that, but I mean the 4 immeasurables. And they're called that because each of the 4 things that are the main feature of each of 1, 2, 3, and 4 are immeasurable. Okay? So we'll do it twice, and once for ourselves, and then, well, we'll talk about the second time when we get there. So please repeat after me. May I have happiness and the causes of happiness. May I be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May I never be separate from the happiness that is free of sorrow. May I reside in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. Did you see that? I shut my eyes and my eyes went blank like I was going to meditate again. My mind went blank and I went, oh crap, I'm not supposed to go blank right now. I'm supposed to do the 4 immeasurables. So it took a few seconds. Okay, and now we'll do it for we. And we can be people you like, you love, your friends, your family. It can include everybody on the planet and all the beings on the planet and in the universe. And you can focus on people you have a hard time with and you wish would do better, and by the worldly perspective. So we, however you wish it to be. Okay. Okay. May we have happiness and the causes of happiness. May we be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we never be separate from the happiness that is free of sorrow. May we reside in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. Hey, thank you for being here, and see you next week.